Oh, welcome everyone to the Aries full moon ceremony today, October 20th, 2021. It was taking place, I'm looking for my notes, like 8:35 this morning or something like that, depending on what time slot you're in. So let's call in sacred space. Let's all take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're just going to drop our grounding cords down into the earth. Inhale, draw that earth energy up, send it up and out through the top of the head. Connect with the heart of the Great Mother above us. And then inhale, draw her beautiful creative energy down through your body. Send it all the way down into the earth on the exhale. Activate that as above, so below flow. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give thanks for the ability to be in a body. Moving to the south, we welcome water, clear, clean, current, emotional energy. We welcome love and joy and abundance. We need a lot of love this month. Moving to the west, we welcome air, fire, or air, focus. All of our guides, all of our angels, all of our etheric allies, the ability to use our mind to focus our intention. Moving to the east, we welcome fire and movement and passion and divine right action. Moving to the center, we welcome the divine feminine and the divine masculine in sacred right relationship. Isis and Osiris, Shiva, Shakti, Krishna, Radha, Yeshua, Magdalene, and all the rest. We call that beautiful balanced energy down into our circle. We call up Mama Gaia to pull that energy through us. And we welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into this circle. So everybody knows that we're going to dance and we're going to activate all these energies in our body. So everyone, get up and move. Here we go. always feel better when we do that. Okay. So let's just get into the meat of it here. Before we dive deeper, just take a moment, because I know all of us, we felt the effects of all of those planets in retrograde last month, and they've all gotten themselves back direct. The last two to go were Mercury and Jupiter, and that happened, I believe, Sunday and Monday. So we should begin to start to feel a little bit more normal. That can be deceiving. And I'm getting ready to tell you why. So I just want to encourage everyone on this call, if you haven't figured this out yet, oh my goodness, be kind to yourself. Really tread lightly and give yourself all the TLC that you need. Now's not the time to be crashing it, even though that's what you're going to feel like because of Aries. But it's really the time to continue to integrate, and I'm going to tell you why. So here it is. Dun, da, da, da. So once again, I just said both Mercury and Jupiter went direct. That's the good news. Okay. So things in that retrograde department are going to settle. But there was the moon last night, if you could see it, was beautiful. And it was full this morning at 8:57 a.m. Central Time. So it's loaded with hard and semi-hard aspects. So some challenges, but they're going to bring really good opportunities if you use them skillfully. And, you know, some of the other things that they're going to bring is they're going to, you know, this kind of energy, we're going to dive into it here just a minute. It's also going to bring things to light that may, you know, we may get to see ugly underbellies we don't necessarily want to see, but we know are there, not just in our government, but personally. You know, it's going to give us that opportunity, which is why I say Aries energy, because it's the first one, you know, it's the first astrological sign. It's like a ram. It's ready to go, and it can be bullheaded. It can be grumpy, agitated, all of that. But it's also a mover. And so since this is a full moon, and since we're going to go into why it's going to be so intense in just a minute, but since it's a full moon, we want to be thinking about what are the things that we need to release, that we need to get out of our way. And so, believe it or not, with all of the negativity, this is a really good time to clean up your eating habits, to clean up old bad habits that you have been, you know, the right behaviors have been eluding you. This is the time that you could do something like that and be successful. It says, for starters, any Aries full moon is great for release and adjustment in several areas. These include being the warrior, the pioneer, the initiator, as well as an entrepreneur and a sexual being. So all of those kinds of energies are affected by Aries. But there is a T-square with the moon, the sun, Mars, and Pluto that is happening right now. And so it says it's hard to overstate just how intense this T-square is. So Mars is just like Aries. It embodies all those Aries energies we just talked about. So with all those planets tied together, the things that can happen would be anger outbursts, you can pop off at people really easy right now. It's why I said just stay home. Just like get under a blanket, don't come out for 2 weeks. War, rape, other kinds of cruelty and violence. So what this can look like, the reason I said stay home, it's not necessarily because of what you're going to do, but how other people may respond to you. Unenlightened people, people that aren't paying attention to what's going on out there, they're just going to pop off. I'll give you an example. This morning, right? I mean, it was 9 o'clock, so just right in that full moon window. I go over to my daughter's because we walk every morning, and we were late. And so I went over there, and she was just like Mount Vesuvius. She was angry at her autistic son. He's hasn't been feeling good, and she was trying to get him to eat something, and he's got all kinds of eating fetishes, and it was just a battle. And she said he was in there screaming at me, and he's 18. And so then we're on, but it's those kinds of like explosions, and I'm looking at her going, wow, you're really mad. And he was mad and she was mad, but there really wasn't that much to be mad over. That's the kinds of things. And then once you get finished, she went in the bedroom, he's crying. It's that kind of energy of just, oh, we don't know why we're mad, but we're mad. So if you're around folks that have any Aries in their chart and they don't know it, there's just all kinds of potential here. So tread lightly. You're going to see the cards today are perfect because it's all about love and just really being in a state of love and holding that vibration. Right, Angelina, social unrest and violence here in Italy, governments and armed forces turning on ordinary people demonstrating peacefully for their basic and human and constitutional rights. That is going on all over the planet. Thank you for sharing that, Angelina. So it's happened here. It's going to probably keep happening here. But those are the kinds of things where we can do better work, staying home, being in circle, doing our prayer work, doing our meditation work, holding space. And that's one of the holding space for a brighter future. Yes, wishing you peace, Angelina, for sure. Be safe, no matter what. Make safe choices. So even though there's that push, you want to just like go because of Aries and Mars, the next 2 weeks are waning. So the energy is going down. So you want to steer clear of situations where challenging possibilities could manifest, but you can also step out as a potent leader with strong interpersonal skills. You can supercharge your creativity. You can go into the cave and really get creative. Anything that would get a boost from being assertive, in a sane mind and assertive, you could really do that. I totally hear you, Angelina. I am too. And I do my best to, I try to keep informed, but I try not to watch it and focus on it because we just give it more energy. We do better to, like I said, hold the space for peace and pray, because what we're seeing in front of us is all of the structures that need to come down. So it's really a practice to hold the vision of what you're desiring and what you're creating, no matter what is out picturing in front of you. But that's our job right now. So here's some brighter news. I'm going to move us over here. The sun goes into Scorpio on 10/23, And Scorpio energy becomes even more intense as the sun forms a T-square with Saturn and Uranus. This is a challenging pattern that starts on the 26th and it will peak on the 1st and then end on the 9th. And here's what you need to remember. Hard aspects like these squares and oppositions fire up the most powerful breakthroughs. So even though it may feel difficult, we can get to the underbelly of what's been causing all kinds of things. And so shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. Do that. Clear your own stuff. The biggest accomplishments and successes usually happen under hard aspects. They aren't bad. They're just intense. They demand action. Something is going to happen. When you consciously partner with a hard aspect, you can steer it in a more positive direction. So, you know, I'm using this because it's one of mine. Watching how I eat. This is a great time to start some kind of a process where you look at your patterns and unearth them and clear them and lay down new patterns. So whatever those things are that you want to release, that you want to reinstate better habits, this is an excellent window to do that in. So here's some other ways you can partner with this Saturn-Uranus square to co-create a more wonderful life. Hang on here, let me see who's chatting. Cheyenne, I love you. She says, oh, goddess, so that all that retrograde for the last month was just a warm up. Yeah, kind of. So, so think about these things. Responsible and balanced freedom versus just doing whatever you want, whenever you want, at the detriment of yourself and others. So there's a nice intention that you could look at. Careful change and innovation. So really being mindful instead of just running headlong into whatever it is you're going to change and then being frustrated when it doesn't work. Cautious experimentation. Playing around with things, seeing how it works for you. Freedom through structure. So this is a big Saturn lesson. If what are those step-by-step, tiny little baby steps that if you do them every day, you will see a long-term difference, whether it's walking 30 minutes a day. What are those changes that you can make that when you set that structure in place, they're going to give you freedom? Saving money on a regular basis is another one. Liberating routine. Thinking about maybe you're just stuck in a rut and you need to change that up a little bit. Hard-won liberation or liberation in increments. How can you become more free? And then the conscious and deliberate freeing of yourself. So those are just like little tidbits for you to just mull over, because we're going to dive into the questions and also, there's one more little bright spot that I want to share with you. This is a cool one, actually. It's going to enhance your abundance. So this is called Thor's hammer. And it's a, so There's a Mars. So see this little triangle here where Mars right here and Pluto and Ceres are all lined up in a triangle. It started on the 18th, on Monday. It peaks on the 23rd and it ends on the 31st. So this is all about psychological healing and abundance. So listen to this. Ceres and Pluto carry the energies of psychological healing, which Carl Jung calls shadow work. Remember, I mentioned that earlier. Both planets can also give wealth. So Pluto, Lord of the underworld, rules buried treasures such as minerals, oil, and natural gas, or any other treasures buried within you. The grain goddess Ceres rules the harvest, all of the things above ground. A Thor's hammer is made of hard and semi-hard aspects. So don't be surprised if you may have some challenging emotions come up. Mars, whose meaning includes war and aggression, may not be on his best behavior, but you can't neglect healing if you want the greatest wealth. So what this is telling us is that this is yet another opportunity for those unhealed wounds to come to the surface so that you can clear them and allow the inflow of divine energy, which delivers wealth as part of its bounty. So you know, there's a lot of people that use what is it called? ETP, tapping, you know, energy free EFT, energetic freedom technique. But I've used that to fill my bank account before. Emotional, you know, clearing those toxic false belief systems and emotions in your body thank you, Betsy, emotional freedom technique can help you move things out and make room for abundance coming in. The more you heal your psychological pain once and for all, the more easily wealth and power will bless your life. And so we're in a window till the 31st where those kinds of practices would be beneficial. Remember that while wealth can be money, it can also be anything that makes your life better. And power can be used to dominate others, or it can be the rising tide that lifts all boats. So there's potential here, lots of potential, but we have to really be conscious and pay attention and use it for the highest good for ourselves and others. So now I'm going to give us, no, I'm not going to give us any music because then I won't be able to put it on YouTube. But things you may want to consider, and I'm just going to give you a little journal time to journal with these questions. What still needs healing in my life? What beliefs do you need to release to enhance your wealth? Where do you need to be proactive about your healing, your abundance, or your business? What step-by-step actions can help you succeed during this precarious time? So I'm going to give you a few minutes to journal with those. And I've done a card pull for us, and they're really potent. So we'll journal with these, and then we'll move right into that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move us into the card pull. You keep writing. You can listen as you write because these are all going to apply. So in the earth door, I pulled holding the container, which is just what I alluded to before. One of the gifts of the earth realm is structure. She creates structures or containers to hold, contain, and direct the more fluid energies like water, fire, and even air. Earth creates the support we need to get our creations into form by holding the container for them. Sometimes we too need to hold the container for our creations by creating the environment in which our hopes and dreams can flourish. Tracking the seasons and cycles of our life, whether it's the seasons of nature or the days in our moon cycle, is one way we can hold the container for our lives. Tracking our income is another way we can hold the container for our wealth. Focusing on a vision of what we are creating through vision boarding, journaling is yet another way. Focusing on the vision of what we see and know is possible for this planet is another way. There was a beautiful story on it was a story on Facebook somebody posted, and I'm gonna butcher it, but I'll give you the short version. This lady was in the airport and there was a call over the intercom for someone to go to gate 4, Delta Gate 4, that spoke, I believe, Arabic. And she did. And so she went, and it was actually the gate that she was leaving from. And when she got there, there was an older woman in the floor just screaming and crying. And they couldn't console her. And so she just looked up, the stewardess just looked at her and said, help. And so she got down and started talking to her, and their flight had been delayed, but the lady misunderstood and thought that the flight had been canceled. And she had some healing place, something that she was supposed to be at in Mexico. And so they got her calmed down. And then they called her son and let her talk to her son. This woman did. And then they called all of the children, and she talked to all of them. She even called some of her friends that she knew that spoke the same language, so this woman could talk to them. And then the woman got out all of her like baked goods that, I think they were these little rolled up things. They had powdered sugar all over them, but they're really good. And she started sharing them with everybody in the space. And then the airport people brought out apple juice for everyone. And so it just turned into this, what was this horrible disaster, turned into this big party. And at the end of the article, the woman said, this is the kind of world I want to live in. There was, no one was scared of each other. They all just did their best to take care of each other. That's what we're all used to. That's what we all want. That's the beautiful human part of us. So we can hold that vision. And if enough of us are holding that vision and we don't let ourselves go to fear, we can turn this. This is actually the crumbling of the old so the new can rise up. So we really, now is the time for us to be doing that. So I was really excited when I saw this card. And then, hi, yes, Linda, did you want, hey, you're going to have to unmute yourself, honey.
Oh, sorry, I thought I had. Okay, thanks. What you're describing, I saw played out in my mother's nursing home in the Alzheimer lockdown unit. That when somebody was having a meltdown on the sofa, all the other people in that unit came and laid hands on the person and cried with them and told them it was going to be okay. And I felt like, oh my gosh, they lost their personality constructs, but this is the real human.
Yeah.
And and so it's happening in our nursing care facilities.
Mhm.
I'm seeing this happening.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Linda. And yeah, and it can happen everywhere. And we just have to begin to focus on that instead of what we see in the news, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the water door, Pisces teaches us the importance of a compassionate heart. Teaches us that we can extend our care and concern for humanity, just like we've been talking about, and respond with a loving, caring heart that heals. It also tells us to awaken our spiritual, intuitive, and psychic gifts. It shows us how to dream the visions of a peaceful planet and selflessly help others to create a better life. Neptune, which is also the vibration of Pisces, is lining up with Venus during this time. So this can also be a really potent player in all of this. The sun is in Pisces generally from February 19th to March 20th. It also speaks of the issue of overgiving and codependency. Where do you need to apply more compassion in your life? And are there places where you're overgiving? So I didn't give you time to journal with the earth card. So I'm going to give you a little time to journal with both earth and water. And I'll flip. Whoops, Cap, I'm telling you. I tell you what. There we go. And then moving into the air door. So we're moving onto the masculine axis. I thought this one was beautiful as well. Intention. Intention is the tool we use to drive the car of creation. We literally focus our actions and behaviors by directing ourselves toward our desired outcomes through intention. Even though words are the most common way we state our intention, our actions also are also ways we speak to the universe about our intentions. So intentions, and I'll go into that in just a minute. Intentions need to be simple, positively stated, forward moving, direct, and to the point. They're not goals. You may have a goal to lose 20 pounds, and an intention you could state around this might be, I intend to walk every day and release sugar in order to lose or release 20 pounds. So being congruent with our intentions means that we can say to the universe, yes, I'm going to do these things, I'm going to, like, for instance, I intend to walk every day and release sugar. So if we do that and then promptly go buy a Snicker bar, that's a conflict, right? It's like the universe doesn't know what we want anymore. because we said we were going to do one thing and we couldn't. So the trick to this is always make sure your intentions are actually doable. Start really, really tiny. And once you get the pattern and the set, then you can expand it a little bit. But make sure that those intentions are something you can do. If not, you're going to keep breaking your promise to yourself and you're just going to become frustrated. So journal with air for just a minute. Is there any place you need to be congruent with your intentions? And then all of this, the fire door, all of this is going to take courage. Any creative endeavor takes courage to initiate and complete. It takes courage to look clearly at ourselves and see all the places we need to make adjustments without judgment. It takes courage to continue to follow through on tasks and complete them to bring the creation to completion. It takes courage to face setback with confidence that this is just another opportunity for growth. So where do you need to apply a little courage to move forward? Aries is a good, courageous energy to be in. That is one thing Aries is courageous. And then spirit, synchronicity. Synchronicity speaks to the seemingly random chain of events orchestrated by the universe at just the right time in the right place. It gives the feeling of being blessed and being in the sweet spot. It is that random phone call that offers you the job you needed, or the chance meeting with just the right person, the book at the library that leaps off the shelf. It's right timing. It's grace. It's the blessed reminder that even in the darkest of times, we're never alone in this world. Invite synchronicity into your life and be on the lookout for it. It will appear. So that's going to be the beautiful thing that we can look forward to, is that now that we know what we're dealing with, we can take right action. And Spirit's going to cover our butt. Spirit's going to have our back. We're going to be okay. It's all going to work out. So because this is such a potent time and we had that a possibility for prosperity, I pulled us a prosperity card and I thought this was so cool. Align with your purpose. It's a little known fact that when you align with your purpose, you are blessed by the universe, especially and specifically with money. All of us came to this planet for a reason, whether it was to give or perform a service, to learn, grow, and transform. We all have a purpose for being here, and that purpose is known by our soul. Your soul knows. The good news is there's a really easy way to know if you're in alignment with your purpose. Simply put, when you're engaging in it, you love it. So take a moment right now and ask yourself, am I in alignment with my purpose? If you aren't, you'll know it. And it'll be time to begin to ask the universe to help guide you back to it. And all it takes to begin to see the support of the universe is to turn in the right direction. The blessings will begin to pour in. So take a moment, if you haven't already. I'm sure as we've been doing this, you've been setting some intentions and getting yourself into alignment. Take a moment to write down any intentions you want to set for this full moon. So in keeping with aligning with your purpose, well, I'm going to announce this one first. So this is a free summit that's coming November 1st with Hearts Wide Open. I'm thinking most of you have gotten an email about it. If you're already on my email list, you are still going to have to sign up for this if you want into this particular summit. Once all of those emails come out and we get through the summit, you're welcome to take your, one of your names off of there. But if you don't think you're going to get all of the information about this if you don't sign up. So you can go to the website with heartswideopen.com. You're welcome. Just go sign up because this is all about how entrepreneurs do it, how doing what you love can change the world. Mother Earth needs us right now, all of us, to be doing that. So, and I've got 32 people that are going to be in there telling you about it. Lots of things that we mentioned today. I've interviewed people that have talked right to what we're talking about. So you're going to want to watch all of them. So jump in there and get in on that. If any of you, and I don't know if there's anybody on here that has done this, but if you have taken CCT professional level, we've got an animal class coming up this weekend. And if you want to get in on that, just email me or text me or go to that on the website. And then coming in November, financial sovereignty. So I am convinced that taking care of your money is the highest form of self-care. And if you want to get in on that, I've already put some details in the email that you got the announcement for this class in, but there'll be more coming down the pike. So pay attention and look for that. Okay, we're going to dance and activate all of your intentions. Here we go. All right, everyone. I give thanks to the elemental forces for holding space for us today. And I give thanks for all of these participants that are doing their sacred work. I'm going to stop the share. We can see each other. I close this circle in the light. All right, everyone. I will see you next month. Bye-bye.